Welcome back to another episode, everyone. Today we are going float hunting. We're on the river. So far this season I've been able to hunt 2 days. I only had 3 days total to hunt, and I've been unsuccessful on the first 2 days, but hopefully today, fingers crossed, we'll make something happen. But I want some fresh venison, and we're going on the river. It's gonna be a great day. Well, it's a brisk, chilly morning, folks. The wind is blowing. It's about 20 degrees, but it feels like a good day to kill something. Okay, well, my plan is to run upriver probably about 10 miles or so, and then just work my way all the way back down throughout the day. I'll probably mostly float and just float down with the oars, but if I see some good areas, I'll go for a walk as well. So we'll go see what happens. It's gonna be a fun adventure though. Listen to how beautiful this is right now. There's a light snowfall coming down, and just listen to the sound of the river. That is just soul rejuvenating. That's probably my favorite sound in the entire world, is what you hear right behind me. And I am just so relaxed. But it's time to start floating down river, and we're gonna load up our gun. So as I'm floating down river here, I'm just gonna be scanning all these thick river bottoms and watching the tops of the ridges. I'm also gonna look for a few areas that I can come walk through later in the morning. I'll probably wait several hours to walk, just out of respect for other hunters that may be on the river, and just out of respect for the morning as well. So we're just gonna let the day wake up a little bit, enjoy this beautiful fall morning, listen to the sounds of the river, and float down and see if we can harvest some fresh wild game. Set up right at my feet, and it's just a beautiful morning, man. Absolutely gorgeous on the river today. Their heads are like dominoes. I saw a third one. All I could see is its head sticking up over the ridge, but then it just went right behind in a split second. Got a good feeling about this. Be bedded down, just holding close, just watching me float right by him. The wind's really starting to kick up too, and it's cold, man. It's about 25 degrees right now. It's chilly. showed up through the camera or not, but about 4 does just took off from this little dip in the river bottom, and they got up to the top of the ridge. I didn't have a shot, kind of took me off guard. I think I'm gonna sneak up to that high ground and see if I can see them, because they might just be standing right on the top of that ridge up there. So let's go see. They were right down here and they snuck up this ridge. I'm gonna get up on this high ground, just take a look. Well, they gone. They the heck out of Dodge. I walked up a ways on top of this high ground and just kind of stealthily moved through the forest, and I could see a little ways in this forest, but those deer must have just booked it out of here. So, oh well. Well, one question that I got asked a lot in my float hunt that I did last year is, how do you know if you're on private or public property? And the app that I use here, it's the only tool you need for this, is the Onyx Hunt app. And that shows you exactly where you're at, and it shows you exactly where the private property is at as well. So as long as you keep checking in on your app and always be aware, you'll be able to tell if you're allowed to take a shot or not. I believe this is my 5th spot of the day, and look at this. Looks like we have some bear poop on the log right here. Okay, and this looks really good here. There's a small ridge. I'm just gonna walk right on top of this ridge, real low, thick bottom in here, and it's also very thick on the top as well, so I'll be able to shoot up and down. Look at all these tracks right here, guys. This runway is used frequently for sure. Man, it looks good in here. They're around. They are around. We just gotta find one. I see the deer. I don't know if you can see it, but it's about 100 yards directly in line with my rifle right now. It almost looks like it's wounded. I just saw it move a little bit and I think it's wounded. I'm pretty sure it's wounded. That deer is definitely wounded. That deer is 100% wounded. Okay, I'm gonna take this one. Got her, guys. We got her, baby. She dropped right in her tracks. She dropped right in her tracks. All right, all right. I'm gonna get in the boat now. Tell you guys the story about what just happened here. All right, guys. We have a deer down, baby. I dropped her right in her tracks, and I gotta tell this story. As I came floating around the bend here, I saw 2 deer kick up, and I saw them trot a little ways, and then they stopped. But the one really looked like it was wounded. So what I did was I floated around the bend here. I got to where the ridge meets this bend. I hopped out. I snuck in probably just 20 yards off the boat, just like you guys saw. And I had a shot at her. I actually watched her for a while and watched and actually made sure that she was indeed wounded. I could see her back leg. I don't know yet if she'd been shot or if she'd been hit by a car, but she was very wounded. And win-win. Got to take care of a wounded animal. And hopefully, well, I know I'll have some meat myself. I watched her drop. So we have a deer down. I am so happy and so thankful that we have a deer down. I've hunted the last 3 days all day, daylight to sundown, and these are the only 3 days that I had to spare to hunt this year. The first 2 days I was unsuccessful, and then finally today, at the very end of the day, we were able to make it happen, baby. We got a deer down. Let's go get some meat. We're gonna get her tagged, we're gonna get her gutted, and head back to the ramp. All right, guys, from what I saw, she should be right in here, probably 20 or 30 yards, not far at all. Okay, well, she should be right around in this area. This is exactly where she was standing. There she is right there, guys. There she is right there. And we have a deer down, baby. We have a deer down, guys. Well, check this out. She is not the biggest deer I've ever harvested, but you know what? I could clearly tell that she was wounded. And look at her back leg here. It is just completely blown up. She was in some serious pain. And I'm just thankful to have put her out of her misery, because she had definitely been hit by a car. I looked her over thoroughly, and there's no exit entrance hole from an arrow or gun. So that is definitely a car wound right there. So very thankful to be able to put this deer out of her misery and have some fresh venison as well. Let's get her. I'm gonna drag her over to the boat. We're gonna get her tagged, get her gutted, and get her off this river bottom. Okay, well, I know it's getting dark here, but I'm gonna get this deer off the river. But the first thing that we're gonna do is make sure that we get her tagged. We're gonna properly tag her. Then I'm gonna put her in the boat, and I'll probably wait until I get back home to gut her, just so I don't make my boat a total mess. But always, always tag your kill, and don't forget your tags. All right, guys, well, we have made it back to the launch. That was an insane jet boat ride. That was one of the coolest jet boat rides that I've ever had in my entire life. And look at the moon right now. Oh my gosh, is this beautiful. Well, as you can tell, the snow has began, but it's the next day and it's time to process our kill here. So what I'm gonna start off by doing is skinning this deer out. I'm gonna skin her, and then I'm gonna remove the different quarters and sections of meat. So we're gonna have 2 back straps right along the top of the back here. I'm gonna have these 2 front quarters, 2 hind quarters. I'm also gonna get a little bit of meat off the neck that I'll turn into a roast, and a little bit of meat off the ribs as well. But we're gonna get cutting here, and then once I take those sections of meat back into the house, I'm gonna get them deboned and processed up and directly into the freezer from there. Okay, well, we are back in the kitchen. I just finished processing our deer. I skinned her, quartered her, and I have all the different sections of meat right in the sink behind me here. And now I'm gonna start deboning and packaging up the sections of meat and putting them directly into the freezer. But first, it's time to get a lake breakfast going on here. So on this cutting board, I have about 1/3 of one of our back straps. I'm gonna fry that up with some canned potatoes, onions, and some eggs. This is by far one of my favorite all-time meals, especially after just harvesting a deer. And we're gonna get cooking. Okay, well, we have our canned potatoes going in this pan here. They're just about done, and I'm gonna get some eggs on. And then in this other pan, we have our venison going here, guys. And this is actually pretty much done. I'm gonna turn the heat off. Now, what I did is I breaded it in Kentucky Kernel batter. You guys see me use this stuff all the time. My buddy Kurt turned me on to it, and I love it. It's mostly a fish and seafood batter, but I also love it on my venison steaks as well. So I just fried this a couple minutes on each side and a little bit of butter. I personally like my fresh venison steaks a little more on the rare side. And yeah, we're just about ready here to have an awesome breakfast. Okay, here we go. We're going for the triple effect bite here, guys. Piece of potato, egg, and backstrap. That is so delicious. I can't even tell you how good that is. And it just makes going out into the outdoors and harvesting your own fresh wild game that much more rewarding. But I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my breakfast here, and then I have my work cut out for me. The sink is completely full of our hind quarters, the front quarters, back straps, and neck meat as well. So I'm gonna get busy deboning all these sections of meat and get them directly into the freezer. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to go down below here and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming episodes. But without further ado, I'm gonna smash this breakfast and get busy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next episode.